WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, home of Southern sports and talk. Newman, Sharpsburg, Franklin.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When you hear music, do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM The Key for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
Are you looking for guidance and direction? Stop on by the House of Light Tuesdays from 12 to 3 and have tea and tarot with Christy. The House of Light is located at 29 Jackson Street in Newnan, Georgia. Call 470-414-6711 for more information.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. It's now time for the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe, each and every week at this time on 99.1 FM WQEE. Here's this week's special.
Good morning. Welcome to the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe here on WQEE 99.1 The Key. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. You didn't catch me off guard this morning.
No, I didn't. How are you?
I am doing good for a TGIF Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
It actually feels good today. There's been a lot of weird stuff happening ever since that new moon in Leo. Yeah. There's a lot of powerful energy in the skies happening, and boy, am I feeling it. And
I bet.
everybody else I run into, they're like, do you feel this? Is this going on? What's happening? And I'm like, yes, a lot.
At least the weather's not so bad.
Well, that's true. Yes, it finally stopped raining, thank goodness.
Yes.
I mean, it rained hard enough to let the tree fall on my house.
Yeah.
I'm done now. So the construction process will begin. I have a meeting next week with the construction company. So, finally.
Free guy and everybody's having to come in.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, the cooler weather's starting to come up.
Oh, it feels great.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I haven't seen 60 degrees in a long time.
I know.
Yeah, very comfy in the morning.
Yes,
Perfect for those morning walks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To go out in nature.
Yes, in nature, yes, exactly. So I have brought a very special guest this morning. She's been with us before. She is a jack of all trades.
Oh, yes.
Because when she was with us last time, we were speaking about death.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but she is a death. Yeah. Oh, it was Friday the 13th. I remember that. Yeah. Yep. She is a death doula. She's a Reiki master. She's a tarot card reader. She's a pranic healer. And I just discovered she knows this really cool thing called
Super Brain Yoga.
Super Brain Yoga.
And with all that, do you also make a great breakfast omelet? Or?
Breakfast is one of my favorite to cook. It's the only meal I cook.
Wow,
Yeah.
great. Sounds good.
So we were going to talk about that today. What do you think Super Brain Yoga is?
Oh, it sounds like something to do with relaxing your brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe stretching it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need to stretch our brains.
Using your imagination.
Yes. Yeah. That sounds.
Yeah. Or maybe even learning to set goals or things for your brain to do or not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That all
Because,
sounds-
I mean, people have, with their brain, been able to not feel pain.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Not feel hunger.
True.
Yeah. So I know the brain can be a very, very interesting subject.
It's very powerful.
Yes, it is. It is. But we do have control over it. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up and forget that they have control over their own brain.
I think a lot of us have. So.
I mean, people just keep going the way they've been going, because they're like, well, nothing ever changes. Well, that's because you don't change it. If you talk to your brain and start saying, wake me up at 6 a.m., guess what? You're going to wake up at 6 a.m.
Mine does me that way. For me to come in here, yes.
Yeah. So you don't need an alarm clock.
Yeah.
We have control over this beautiful, powerful, intelligent body.
I love this because that hits close to me because I wake up every morning, come into the work, same time every morning.
Yeah.
My brain wakes me up.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So just FYI, Ryan, shake things up a little bit.
Do what?
You said I wake up, get here at the same time every morning.
Right.
Yeah. Do something different. Shake things up. Come in 10 minutes early. Take a different route in one day. Do something different.
Yeah.
This is step one in beginning to take control of your brain.
Okay.
It's the creative process. We have forgotten how to create.
Right.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like most people think creation or creativeness is art, writing, singing, playing music.
Right.
But we create every moment we are alive. Every moment we live in is our creation. And when you learn to accept that and realize that, then your creation begins to really unfold in more beautiful ways. Change things up a little bit, because what happens is the brain, and Tara, please help me with this. There are so many synapses and brain waves and different lines of communication that go on within the brain that they make like little lines that it just keeps going, the same old thing.
That's how our thinking happens, is we stay in that groove. So if you're in a groove of negative thinking, of feeling like, everything's going to go wrong, if you become aware of that and change your thinking, it takes a little bit of time and a lot of awareness, but you can begin to change the thoughts into something positive, and you can have the same things happen in your life, but your outlook is different, and you look at it, like with your house, it's, it wasn't, I love, if it's okay to share,
Yes,
we talked
it's okay.
about, I love how, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, she must be so devastated. I hope there's, if there's anything I can do, for you, just, give me a call. But it turns out is the way you change the way you think. And you saw it as, my house is going to be reconstructed the way I want it to look.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing happened. A tree fell on your house, but there's so much more happiness surrounding it and in your life, because you look at it as, a new beginning, or I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
New
new
beginning.
roof, a new
Yeah.
new walls, new floors. I see it as a blessing, and that's a lot about. I believe one of the big secrets. It's not really a secret in life is choice. So you can choose to see it as a blessing and start looking at all the good things that are going to happen after the devastation, or you can choose to see it as devastation and then begin to see all the devastation, and then you stay in the devastation. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you choosing to create a new groove in your brain?
Yes. You know, there's an author, a very, very well-known author from the past, that wrote a book. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Wayne Dyer.
Love him.
I love him too. Yeah. So everybody, here's Tara. First of all, I want you, you kind of told me a little bit about this super mind, super brain yoga, and it is based in pranic.
It originated, I'm not sure if it was originated in Hindu or just simply the Indian tradition, the Eastern medicine. And then it was brought out more by the teachers of pranic healing. So super brain yoga encompasses acupressure points, particularly on your ears, and as well as bringing energy up.
Sorry. Oh, I was trying not to cough. Go ahead, Tara.
So in this, it's a process that's just, it takes less than a minute. You can do it once a day, 2 times a day, 3 times a day. And it improves cognition, it improves focus, it improves mental and emotional behaviors. There are case studies. You can Google or YouTube super brain yoga. And there are case studies. And the advertisement I have for it has the link of the scholarly articles showing all these improvements, because I'm trying not to talk like a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. But there's case studies specifically on autistic children with ADHD, developmental disabilities, and how their IQ went up, how their focus is such a huge part of learning. Their capabilities increased. One of them actually became valedictorian by the time she reached high school by simply doing this technique once or twice a day.
Wow. You know, these techniques, and this is something that everybody can use. I know people that have ADHD and ADD and everything. They're very educated people. You know, they got to have that medicine to stay focused. Now, with this type of program, we're trying to reevaluate your brain or trying to, you know, work with your brain. Can that help with that to possibly they don't have to use as much as the medicine as before? Is there any studies on that quite yet?
I would have to refer them right to their doctor. They would need to work with their doctor when it comes to medication. Because that kind of medication is addictive, and there's withdrawals, and I'm afraid to talk about it. But I imagine if you're able to increase your focus in a natural way, why would you need the medication?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I had to do him a disclaimer.
No, that's fine. No, that's understandable, and that was the question, because I do know people like that they have to have that, but when they are off that medicine, there's just something, they're different. When they're 100% focusing without the medicine, it's just they're a different person. They're a good person. You know, I'm just,
more organized. I remember more.
Yeah.
I've been practicing. I don't know why I haven't been practicing super brain yoga for a lot longer, but it just kind of came back into my life somehow. It just kind of popped it back in, and I feel a lot more organized in my head. When somebody asks me a question, I don't suddenly have 10 different answers in my head floating around. Yes.
That is awesome.
I think I can actually finish stories now without my side stories taking me off into another planet.
You don't have to have a squirrel moment.
Right.
Squirrel moments like most of us do. Well, we're going, oh, wait, over here. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, how long has this procedure been along? How long has this been around?
No, I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not great
Okay.
with dates. I would need to... Pranic healing kind of came around to the public and to the Western world.
Right.
I want to say in the 80s.
Wow, that's a long
So
time.
oh my gosh, it has.
That's a long time.
I'm thinking that was like 20
the fact
years
that
ago.
it's been around
Right,
for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a short time in the Western world.
Pranic healing came about 500. It was originally 500 years BC.
Right.
In China. And it wasn't until more recently that Master Choa Kok Sui brought it back up and more user-friendly.
Right.
You don't have to be psychic to practice pranic healing. You actually learn to be more intuitive. But all the protocols that they have for specific ailments have... They basically, they had a group of clairvoyants watching these protocols, watching this energy work take place separately. And then they write down what they see and to determine whether that protocol is working or not. And then come together and so that way somebody who's not intuitive, who doesn't feel energy or see energy, can still practice pranic healing and be successful.
Right.
And that's what Master Choa Kok Sui did.
And you just brought that up. I know this now more than I thought when we began this conversation because I have actually seen this in Bruce Lee movies. I've actually seen this in Karate Kid. They have used this as, they have spoke about it, and it was within the program. But, now I'm thinking, I'm like, hey, this I know what this is because of that. Honestly, like I said, it's been around since the 80s in America or in the Western world, but it was in these movies, and they spoke about this, and I never would have thought that's what, I'm just connecting it. Now my brain's connected.
Well, and in pranic healing, like in the Western world, we talk about 7 chakras. In pranic healing, it's 12 chakras.
Right.
Because they include the back. And there's one chakra in particular that you can raise somebody's blood pressure, you can lower somebody's blood pressure if you know how to do it. And so it's kind of one of those, like you were talking about Karate Kid, with great, great knowledge, great power.
Yes.
What was that?
With great power comes great knowledge or something.
All I remember is wax on, wax off.
Hey, that's great. That's good advice right there, Donna.
But that's how, and then that's how I linked it to those movies of, how are they're not even touching them and they're able to affect them. Yes, I've seen it happen myself.
Wow.
And with Super Brain Yoga, it brings the energy from all your chakras up into your head energy, but it also uses acupressure points to balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, and that's what helps with focus. And if a child's more focused, their behaviors are going to improve.
I agree, because if you look at China, you look at Japan, you look at the students, they are starting in 2nd and 3rd grade doing algebra and things to that sort. If you go back to their schooling, and this is coming from their world to our world, this is all coming together. My brain's putting this all together now. That's what's happening. So this is a fantastic opportunity to bring this. So as a everyday person that wants to get in touch with you, how can you help me learn more about this and develop my brain?
I'm actually holding a class at the House of Light. September 23rd, I'm still putting the details together. It'll be in the afternoon. Will be advertised through the House of Light website. Okay. And then also my website. I don't know if I give you.
And you know what? I think by then we'll be ready to do it Zoom.
Oh,
Because
we do
wouldn't
that.
it be so powerful to allow this radio audience to also join in
Yeah.
on something this
Yeah,
spectacular?
absolutely.
I mean, we can describe it because she was showing me when we had coffee. I know the beginning is crossing the arms and grabbing the earlobes. So that's the beginning of it, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
then you do squats in either 7, 14, or 21. So there's something about the number 7. In
I was going to
healing.
ask that.
So
yeah.
maybe starting out with 21 3 times a day, and then after a week or two of that, as you begin to see improvements, then you can decrease it, kind of like decreasing a dose of medication.
Right.
And then to where you just need to do 7 in the morning, and they're squats.
Wow.
So you're using your pressure points with your ears, crossing over your arms, and you're squatting down. If somebody can't do squats, there's some adjustments that can be made.
Okay.
Not everybody can do squats,
of
they
course.
can still benefit from the acupressure part.
I wonder if some of it has to do with the breathing as well.
Mhm. Yes. So as they're squatting down, they're inhaling, and as they're standing back up, they're exhaling, and that has to do with bringing the energy back up to the brain. So it's better than coffee. But we still want coffee, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna still want coffee.
I don't know. Note to self: don't drink your coffee while you're on the show. I choked myself.
How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm okay now.
okay.
It just took a while because it literally choked me when I took that sip.
I
So
wanted to step away.
Well, Donna started using her brain and saying, "This is not going to affect me."
right.
She's in the better groove, the positive groove in
And she
her
came
brain.
back over here and she's like, "I'm going to put this over to the side, and then I'll get it after the show."
Yeah.
No, it does that sometimes. But, this is really an interesting subject that has always been tied to us here in America mainly, and just now more people are starting to see it. Why do you think it's becoming more popular in 2023 than it was when it was first introduced to us in the 80s?
Exposure.
Okay.
I think it's, I want to say, like evolution. So many people are opening their
There you go.
eyes to Eastern medicine, alternative medicine, holistic, anything natural. I think a lot of people are trying to step away from the Western medicine model of, go broke and, and still,
True.
have symptoms of the symptoms.
Yeah.
And not, I'm careful to say the word cure, but there's so many ways.
There's more and more people
Yes.
searching out alternate ways of healing themselves rather than every time they get a sniffle calling the doctor and going to the doctor.
Right.
I like to say, staying on that positive note, that a lot of this, I believe, is it's because of COVID. I know that sounds strange, but because we all were sequestered, we all had to go within our homes for a long time, and all we could do really was think and be with ourself.
Right.
And a lot of people, the term is woke up. Then they're like,
Okay.
I really don't like my life. I don't like my job. Why am I, doing this day after day after day, and it doesn't bring me joy?
Right.
And a lot of people did not go back to work.
Oh, I know.
A lot of people found other things that did bring them joy to do. So I believe a lot of this awareness has come about because we had to become aware, because that's all we had were ourselves and our bodies to be with for a time.
And then I think we were able to get in touch with ourselves, especially if we're quarantined from everybody.
Right.
If we had the symptoms, or not, we had that time to get in touch with ourselves and say, I believe I can heal myself. And there's tools out there, and there's people out there to teach me the way of healing myself. and we fell in love with ourselves again.
Yeah.
We became our own best friends again, and realized how important our sleep and our health is,
And our
our
self-care.
mind, our self-care.
Yeah, yeah.
Spoiling ourselves in ways that doesn't cost a lot.
Right, right.
Just to take that time out to take a bubble bath.
Another thing I would say is information. Our information systems have grown exponentially with all the different platforms that people are using to get information out. So the information is readily available for those who are seeking and searching for help. Yeah. So once again,
Super Brain Yoga, September 23rd. Look at the calendar on the House of Light website. And also I'm at House of Light every Saturday. If you want to come in and if you can't make the class, or if you want to learn sooner than the 23rd, I am very happy to teach you free of charge.
cool.
Just come on in.
Is there a way that they can get in touch with you
Yes.
personally?
My phone number is, can I say one?
Yeah, I always, if you wish.
253-878-0258, or you can reach the House of Light.
Tara Tremlett, everyone. And I'd like to real quick let everybody know what's happening at the House of Light coming up. We're already halfway through the month of August. It's really unbelievable. But today is Friday the 18th, and tonight at 7 p.m., we're having a very special presentation from the Briggs Association exploring supported employment, which is really fascinating because you all were speaking of people with simple disabilities, and that's what this is. It's a way to help seek employment if you are disabled. And then, of course, on the 19th, Saturday, you'll find Tara there every Saturday from 10 to 4. On Monday, the 21st, Vanya will be doing a Major Arcana Tarot class. And then on, of course, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., we do meditation. And Kat is doing her Mediumship 102 class every Thursday night. And then on the 27th, which is Sunday, we have a special. Bradley is coming in to do the nervous system reset at 11 a.m. on Sunday, the nervous system reset. All right. And then, of course, go online, go on Facebook, House of Light GA. Our calendar is always right there for you to see. You can call us at 470-414-6711. We're located at 29 Jackson Street here in downtown Newnan. Thank you so much, and thank you, Tara,
Listening to the House of Light presents.
Yeah, this was great. This was a great conversation. Yeah, let's all power up our brains and learn some super brain yoga. We'll see you. Well, I won't be here Friday, but April will. See you next week on the House of Light's Wisdom Cafe.
You've been listening to the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe on 99.1 FM WQEE. The House of Light, a wellness center at 29 Jackson Street here in Newnan, is a place for people to relax and find true healing. For additional information, 407-414-6711. Remember to tune in next week for another healing message from the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Wake up and text.